See.
Oh.
On bet you wash day, everybody. We'll wait a few moments to get everybody coming in through and get all of that going. I'm going to post a little questionnaire in the chat link so you guys can answer it, and also I'm going to take attendance as well. And this little meeting is going to be recorded just for people that couldn't make it, and we'll go from there. Let's see. Second. All right. Grab that link real fast for you guys. Just 1 second. My goodness. I'm trying to post this link to this. Has everybody used Google Forms before?
Yep.
Okay. And so I'm trying to post a link to this little questionnaire that I had for everybody. Do I just post it into the chat part, or?
That should work.
Okay, just 1 second. Feels like I'm brand new to this Zoom stuff again. Like I use it, then I don't use it, and I use it, I don't use it. So it's pretty interesting. There we go. Okay, so in the chat, I sent the link to the forms it's a little questionnaire that I want everybody to fill out, and just to get feedback and create dialogue. And just to see where everybody is at comfortably with technology, virtual technology and everything. Okay, let's see. So let's just go ahead and get started. It's already after 1 o'clock. Hello, I'm Betty Washte, Orlando Avery, Amachiapolo, Chante Washte, Nape Chizapolo, Ritash, Nawakpa, LYT. Yeah, so sorry guys. Okay. So the reason why I created this meeting space, this collaborative space, is to, as soon as we came back, I noticed there was a need for something from our Lakota language teachers, not just here in our Antioch Dopa school, but also in other settings like at the college level and other school systems, and even in the home, and even in our families. We're all experiencing this pandemic and the whole virtual format of learning. And the reason why I wanted to create this, I just wanted to collaborate with everybody to see what they're doing in their own educational worlds of learning Lakota language. And because we can't meet face to face, some of us, and that's unfortunate, because everybody's used to being there with their apprentice or their mentor or their elder or their family member and speaking Lakota or Dakota. And yeah, I just wanted to just collaborate with everybody, just share ideas, network with one another, and just create a good space for us to meet and talk about these issues that are going through our communities, and especially in the language part of our lives. I noticed, so what I noticed, a lot of our our older generation Lakota language teachers, they're missing that computer 101 component, and they're not used to that, and that's fine, and that's great. But I feel like our school systems are totally leaving us behind in that sense. We just had a 2-week training on virtual learning and curriculum, and within that frame, it's a school setting, and there's a whole different different dialogue on like, oh yeah, just trying to differentiate the school setting from the language, and how it, there's a whole different concept on that. But since we're here as educators, we've been having issues with Tech 101 stuff, simply from emails to getting into Google Classroom or Moodle or stuff like that. And I just wanted to collaborate with everyone to see what they're doing effectively, or if they're having troubles, and if there's people that are experienced in these fields, if they would be able to, or if they're willing to mentor our older generation speakers. And hopefully we could target some of the families that need those helps in language development, especially in a school setting. Maybe we could just brainstorm our ideas of what we can do as Lakota language warriors. And so yeah, that's the reason why I created this space, is for us to talk about and exchange ideas. And as I said, I created a form. It's a little questionnaire on how you feel about technology with Lakota language, and just your experience and stuff, and so on and so forth. So if you guys could go ahead and fill that out whenever you have a chance, and just, it'll be stored. I can go look at the responses after. So
Where
so
do
far
we
have
find that, Orlando? Where do we find that?
I put in the chat dialogue.
Okay,
put a link.
I just got in because I
Okay.
didn't have the link, so
Okay.
I don't see it. Could you put it there again, please?
Yep. So if everybody's still here, just coming on, I'm posting the Google Forms. I created a questionnaire, and if people can fill that out, that would be amazing. It just creates more dialogue of conversation to see where everybody's at in technology and applying the language towards technology. It's a whole new ballgame for us, some of us, and some people are really excelling in it. I commend all the language warriors down at Thunder Valley and what they're doing. Ray Taken Alive, Alex Fire Thunder. Everybody has their own different format of what they're doing. But I just kind of wanted to hopefully learn from one of you guys, or hopefully somebody can learn from me, or just a whole core of people, or cohort of people, as you can say. So with that, in the meantime, you could fill that out whenever you feel welcome to. I'll just go down the list on my screen, and just see how you introduce yourself and what your setting is, where you're from, and what you do as in for work, or if you're a student, or if you're a community member, or if you're just a simple person just wanting to learn language and stuff. We'll just go down the line. So Tara Provost.
Taraya.
Oh, Taraya, sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm Betuashte, everybody. My name's Taraya Provost, and I'm a language learner slash cook, and I'll be transitioning into a childcare provider soon. I'm also a parent, and my son, he's in the immersion school at Thunder Valley. And yeah, we just recently started doing our Zoom classes with our kids, and we're still navigating a lot of what works and what doesn't. So I'm just excited to see what everybody else's ideas are and what other methods people are using in Indian country.
Watch that. Okay, I suppose is that Dawn Little Thunder there? I think, or Dawn. on. I guess. Don, are you there? Some people's probably their mics aren't working properly. We'll come back to you, Don. Avery, how's it going, brother man?
Oh, Tanshi. Avery Jones and Mark Yapirona. Akbay Parks Edwati Naka. The Korea Pin Sperry Chawaki. Betcha. The school over here is making us go back face to face. There is an online option, but our students are doing Edgenuity, so there won't be any Dakota language for them. But I'm preparing to go virtual. We're using Microsoft Teams. I don't know if that's different from what you guys use, but we had a bunch of training on that.
Okay. Alrighty, thank you. All right, Nicole.
My name is Nicole Walker. I am the director of the Language and Culture Institute at Standing Rock, and I work with all of our teachers. I also help facilitate, we're the main facilitators of this, the Dakota Lakota Summer Institute every year. And this past year was the first year that we did it all online. So that was really exciting. And we did it through Zoom classes with a program that we called Otokahe. It's a Moodle-based program, so we've been doing that. And in the spring, before the schools closed, but I guess when the schools shut down and sent all of the students home, but before the school years ended, I and the rest of my office, we met with as many of our language and culture teachers as possible weekly to walk them through how to provide more language and culture virtually. We went through a few different weeks, different applications that are out there online that they could do in order to provide more contextualized cultural language teachings and things like that. And we're hoping to bring those types of meetings back up for the teachers who are at home teaching their students. And it would be helpful for teachers who are even, in the classroom and just want to integrate more technology. But it's a work in progress, and we've been working with them, trying to think of ways to support them and help them. Because I'm personally not a teacher; I don't teach in the K-12 setting, but I'll do what I can to help teachers who are in that setting. You're muted, Orlando.
I'm getting used to this, okay? Bear with me. Donnie LeBeau. Can you hear me? Donnie, are you there? I guess we'll come back to her. Gracie Gallego.
Gracie Gallego Amachiapi Naha Kahisinte Elwatia Wakia Opa Ekta Uashia Chamu Nawakanja Kichi Uashia Chamu Dusty in a Traya Kichi Uashia Chamu. My name is Grace Gallego. I live in Porcupine, South Dakota. I work at Thunder Valley CDC. I work with Dusty and Taraya out there, out to the AFB Glukinipi daycare. And yeah.
Watch day. Okay, Emily Lopez.
Day, everyone. My name's Emily Lopez. I also work at Thunder Valley. I am the Lakota Language / provider for one of the sites. Yeah, that's about it.
Watch day. Okay, Vereen White. She must not have a mic. So we'll come back to Verena. If you want to type it in your chat, introduce yourself and what do you do in the community, or if you're a language speaker in the family or educator, you can put that in the chat. Okay. Also, we have some relatives that are coming from a different tribe. They just wanted to just chime in and see what we're doing, and I'll just have them introduce themselves. They're just here to listen and be, and if they have any dialogue, if they want to chime in on that, they're more than welcome to. So Kinsley.
Oh, hi. Pivesh, everyone. Thank you for letting me join in on this Zoom meeting. I am Northern Cheyenne. I do live in an urban setting, Billings, Montana. And I think this is a really great idea. Now that I'm switching gears for online learning for my daughter, I'm not sending her back to school this fall. I wanted to get some ideas from Orlando and from all of you to get something going for our Cheyenne children and our community as well. And this is a good way to connect everybody through this virtual learning. So thank you once again for letting me join in, and everyone have a good day. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Marianne.
Here, I had to figure out how to unmute myself. Hey, Miriam Blue, I'm a Machiapi, Chante Washterna Patch Usapi. Mish Dupri Oawa Ekta Washi Chamo La Coliapiki Unspewichawakia Wali Chakoi Shagaloha Napjionka Nawichamana. Yeah, so I'm here to figure out. I'm brand new to this technology thing. You know, I'm almost 60 years old, and you know, I've been in the classroom activities, hands-on kind of gal. So this technology is it's exciting. It's a little bit scary too. It's really exciting, and I'm just eager to learn as much about it as possible. Nicole did an amazing job this in June with her online, you know, teaching us. And I took those classes so that I would know what to do with my students, and I'm still not comfortable with it. Like I always do something wrong, with the technology, something doesn't work. So I'm here to learn from you guys. And thank
you. Okay, Dusty.
Hi, Lenny. Hi, everybody. Dusty Nelson and Machiapi, Wakia Opa, El Washi Chamu, Na Owayawa, Iapi Bukini, El Washi Chamu. My name is Dusty Nelson. I work at Thunder Valley. I am the manager at Iapi Bukini. We have we're immersion daycare. Lakota Immersion Daycare, we're transitioning into Montessori. Prior to the pandemic, we had one site fully transitioned into a Montessori setting. The classroom was filled with Montessori materials, and we were just getting geared up to figure out how to get the second one transitioned into Montessori setting. And so if anyone knows anything about Montessori, you know that it's primarily hands-on. And if anyone knows anything about daycare, it's the attention span of preschoolers is very short, and so you know we had our work cut out for us prior to the pandemic, and now during the pandemic, it's been difficult getting our footing in a world where we're not used to working, which is through technology and through the internet, and not being able to be in front of the students and working with them and doing hands-on things. So we are providing as some of you may know, Thunder Valley has a few resources already prior to this situation. We have a YouTube channel that is called Wayawa Chikala, and it has YouTube videos from words to letters to different topics and things, and then we have a sub channel called I think Wayawa Tankinkia, but it's just a bunch of videos that Gracie and I did with some of our coworkers in the beginning when we first start learning how to do immersion, and those could be helpful to some people if you can pull some things out that you need. Additionally, we have a website through Thunder Valley. I think it's eofigukinib.org. I'm not sure, but I could definitely get these resources to everyone's emails after this. But currently, we're doing something we call Mimea Yankapi, and it's about 30 minutes of all of us. There's six daycare providers and I pitching in, reading books in Lakota, singing. Gracie is doing prayer songs. And then I've been fooling around with Google Slides and making little presentations that go along with the Lakota children's songs. And then we're trying to do home kits, but as far as getting a handle on everything and providing the services that we see fit for the children, we're not there yet, but we're working towards it. And we're just really happy to be here with all of you. And I hope that this isn't the only meeting. I hope that we can have more of these, and as we go along, continue to communicate and collaborate with each other and create community within our language, within language revitalization. Whether you're from Ocheti Shakaway or not, I'm just really glad that you've got this going, Orlando, and it's really awesome to see everybody here. Thanks.
Okay, who do I have next? I have Janelle.
Petuashte. I'm the Lakota teacher for the 2nd through 6th grade here at the upper elementary school at Cheyenne Butte. I live at La Plante, South Dakota. I drive, what is it, man? Orlando, about 40 miles a day?
About 30.
About 30?
Yeah.
She gave me my supervisor gave me the schedule tentatively. She wants me to meet with at least 6 classes. First, she had it lined out, maybe 6 a day, online. But this is all scheduled to move around, so I might not be doing as many. I'm like Marian. I'm having a really hard time learning all of I was just getting familiar with Plan Book. That's what I was playing with all this summer. And then now we're doing Google Chrome stuff. So now I need to figure out how to incorporate that into the Plan Book so that it's in every day what I'm doing. So that all that will be something that I have to work on and to see if, and I'm really sorry I missed this, what did you call it? The summer program they had at Standing Rock. I really wanted to do that this year. I didn't know they did an online thing. I don't have access to all the.
I'll have to chime you in the loop.
Yeah.
So it's just, again, that's why we created this space, so we could hopefully help one another in this technology and just trying to get the language going, and not just had it at a standstill just because school's closed and whatnot. But yeah, so that's why I created this space for everybody. Okay, well, thank you, Janelle. Dawn Little Thunder.
Cheyenne River Head Start Iowa. Wambly Baha, LRT, I'd like to first extend my thanks and gratitude to Orlando for spearheading this. This is always a subject that we always talk about,
Lakota language is always something that's very important and vital to who we are, and especially the children that we teach. I am the early childhood education manager for the Head Start program here on Cheyenne River. Basically, we are going along with the Creative Curriculum Cloud, and it's basically everything is digital. And we had just done our webinar with the company, and we got the free reign to modify the curriculum however may we want. And definitely, Lakota language is a part of our curriculum. We have a ongoing curriculum that I have with my teachers here that we've been implementing over the years. One of the things was that I struggled with was to build a self-confidence in them as teachers, to be able to teach our Lakota language to our children. And over the years, they've flourished, you know, just giving the teachers the tools. And now here we are faced with another challenge, and that's, you know, virtually teaching the children. And then not only that, but also teaching our parents. I did dabble in some activities throughout the last school year that implemented Lakota language with our parent activities. I'm kind of hoping that that's something that I'd be able to do, because we would have to start building that confidence within our parents as well, and that's something that's few and far in between on Cheyenne River. So I'm here to seek out ideas, to collaborate with other educators. I've introduced my staff to, you know, my relatives in Standing Rock, Sunshine, Ray. You know, they've enjoyed it. They've taken everything that you've taught them and brought it into their classrooms and with their parents, and you know, it's something that's really flourished within our program here on Cheyenne River. So again, thank you for inviting me.
Wow. Okay.
Uh-oh, where'd he go?
You guys can't hear him either, right?
Are you back now? Yagliha. He's moving.
Okay. Harry, if you wanted to use that chat side, let's see. Don, you probably have to call your dad and have him push the mute button. We'll come back to you, Harry, okay? Let's go on to Vereen White. Vereen, I think you gotta push your mute button as well. It's okay. I think Harry got. Harry, did you get yours? Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do Harry and we'll come back to you, Vereen. Okay. Go ahead, Harry. Introduce yourself.
Abeta washte. Iuha chicha pelo. Le womblipa ha hecha with nil. Makina wag la kayalo cha. Iuha chate washte na pe chusa pelo. Hocha nacho pewo. Could you guys hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Le daku Lani ki lili chano ki lili washte. Cha ya le daku wayansa ka shicha ki na ata kili cha le virtual learning app ki he daku ki wakanje ki spell te cha cha le unachu ki na wogla kap ki go cha he wakatya washte cha tayo chano lani cha le ya me le teatro una Makina the Kishawa Kanja Wancha Block and she Lakota or Chalcosta. Chale Letaku Zoom and Dokashka Hokaika Levos Omaspecha. There Ahchi Misti Stemichi. Hello, everybody. My name is Harry Low Thunder. I'm at home in Eagle Butte and relaxing and retiring. And thank you for the invitation, Lanny. And I know I've been teaching my grandkids Lakota at home, and it's really awesome that they're learning. And I'm glad you're doing this because I think this must be the best thing to do right at this point. Virtual learning, I think probably the best thing to do. We've been doing this before, but we never used Zoom. We used something else different, the old product. But this is something new. I'm glad that everybody's reaching out to you to get this going. And this is my first time on here, so I had to find that unmute button. I have a very hard time seeing the screen because I'm visually impaired. Many of you know that, and some of you don't know that, so I'll just let you know I'm doing my best.
I have to mute it.
So anyway, Lanny, thank you for letting me come in and inviting me to this chat.
Oh yeah.
So I'll let somebody else go ahead and take over.
Very much needed.
Hello.
Okay. Thank you. And yeah, that brings another aspect to our teaching methods too for our relatives that are visually impaired and audio impaired, and how could we reach out to those? So we'll keep that in mind as well as we finish our introductions, and then we'll start having conversation, and then probably break up into some subgroups and stuff. Just have some conversations and stuff. Since there's 17 of us so far. Okay, let's go on to Vareen. I think you found your mute button.
Yeah, I found it again.
All right.
Luckily. Vareen, Cedar Face, Otroka Emachapi, Ash Mihignanku ki la Chaje Hankeki o Ihakeki White Alpi. Cha Hemia Vareen White. Hemiena. Lakota ia pikile he Otroka Wowaglake. He Wowaglake. Cha he majistila hokshichela mas hema tokel elpso hema chikala heha he wowaglake cha he le mitra wowapi ki oyawa ki hena naku omaspe cha oglaka na owapi na takuku e chumpik down hena taku tokel e chumpik down hena e cha unspewi chakya na hel wana wania to week Gemina topa wa heha wa unspewi chakya hemacha mana asni wakya na asni waking down yunka watohancha wakia opra ki mas amaki prana le hel owashi wam yuhan hashkre cha yukam wahoma bi na atash dagni wawapi buhashmash hel makachni rapi cha he umana we numpa secha hel wash chamo wana. Nalila awash tawalika. Chawana Director of Curriculum and Development Alpi. He Hemacha.
Pilama Everin. Welcome to the conversation and the dialogue and yeah. Pilama. Okay, Gloria Eastman. Do we have Gloria?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, my voice isn't very good, but Gloria Eastman from Imineluzaha Awati. I'm just tuning in so I can just hear more Lakota conversation. I'm not teaching or anything. Just want to listen. Doksha.
Okay, Ray.
Hamidakipi, Ray taken live in Macha below. Yamoslaha, Lemata. McLaughlin, Ohio, Ekta, Wawashi, Chama. Language and culture coach, Hemata Lo. We're just introducing ourselves?
Yeah, we're just introducing ourselves and just what we do as a profession, or if we're just a grandparent at home or a parent or.
Okay. And then I just wanted to say thanks to Orlando for organizing this. And I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I'm at work, so I got my mask on. But Hechitulo.
Oh, okay, we have Dawn. There's no last name, but it just says Dawn. You want to introduce yourself?
Orlando, that's me too. I'm just logged in on a computer and my phone.
All right. Okay. Donnie LeBeau, she's back with us.
Ang feti washte yo happy, midakapi, chante, washte unape chisapi, wanapi sapawi machiapi yo, na Donnie LeBeau machiapi, tazipcho na ohenumpa, wakpa washte Lakota oyate himachia, wakpa washte amataha, ihataya atachiapi. It's good to be here with you all. I'm grateful to my dear colleague, relative Lanny, for the invitation to this beautiful space. Great to see so many familiar relations present. Definitely inspired by all of the beautiful labor that you all do. I am a Lakota language learner and educator, specifically in Tioshbaye. And I am here to support in all ways possible. Pilamiape. Thank you.
Pilamea. Okay. Again, if you could still see that link in the chat, if you could guys fill that out, it's on the top of the chat. I could replace the link again. So you guys can fill that questionnaire out, and then I can get some data. And for our next, if we do another, which we'll probably do another meeting, probably in September. So we'll probably, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I just wanted, so again, the reason why we created this space is just, again, to figure out what you guys are doing virtually to teach and to exercise the language with yourself or with your family or with your students or just with your audience, and what tools are you using? And so, for instance, here at Tioshbaye Dopa, we bought the Google Suite, so we have access to everything Google. We don't have access to Zoom, so we're using Google Meet. We're using Google Classroom, and also we're doing the Bitmoji Classroom with the Lakota Language. And so, with that. That's going to be our format. And the reason why I created this space is because my older teachers, they're kind of having a hard time with the virtual learning aspect of this, not just in Lakota language, but also the general ed teachers. because they're so far behind in the computer, and that's not their fault, you know. It's just happened so fast with this pandemic, and we just are expected to start teaching our kids within a couple of weeks, and I don't know how effective we're going to be. And I feel like Lakota language is being left behind in that path in the school system, because they're more focused on the general ed classes, but Lakota language is just as important as everything else, especially in our communities and on our reservations. So I just wanted to create a dialogue and see what everybody's doing. There's 15 of us, and I think to be more effective, I think we should break up into groups and just kind of talk about those things instead of going one by one, because it's going to take forever to do that. But I kind of wanted to showcase what Ray has been doing. Ray Taken Alive. I've been noticing he's been doing a lot of TPR methods on his YouTube channel, I believe, and been doing a couple courses this summer. They're just doing a lot of stuff, and I just kind of want to have him explain what he has been doing and if what the outcome of it is so far. So go ahead, Ray.
Okay. Let's see here. Would it be possible to?
Let me see if I can add you as a co-host. Can you so then you can share.
Okay.
Did you get that?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to
You're fine.
figure this all out. I just got from a different Zoom meeting where we're learning about Google. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, we can see your screen.
Okay, so this summer I took a workshop called on TPRS, Teaching Proficiency Through Reading and Storytelling. And so what we're basically doing is we're creating a story as we go. And I created the story first, and then we decide who's going to play which character, and we come up with the characters, and then we figure out the details for those characters. And what I really like about the reading and the storytelling aspect of it, and I've been working with Alex Fire Thunder from Little Wound and Dallas Nelson, been talking about using our traditional stories and then backwards designing them into some beginner language, and then working back up so that eventually our students will be able to tell some of our stories. So this is an example of last night's class, and if you want, you're more than welcome to join our class every night at this actually isn't the last night's class. You're welcome to join our class every night at 8 Central Time, except for the weekends, not tonight, but again, this isn't the, sorry about this. I wasn't really ready.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No pressure. We're just.
Okay. I have some videos that I hide. There it is. So this is just an example of that, where we have our verb conjugations on the slide, and then I've really been into 100% comprehended input. So I'm trying to make sure that the learners understand 100% of the time what we're talking about. So on this slide right here, Simba Igmut Khanka Oblaye LT. Simba lives in the Pride Lands, the Big Cat Prairie. And all their conjugations are up on the chart. And what I'm doing, I've learned a little bit about language acquisition this summer. And a big thing of TPRS is repetition. So with this one sentence, I'm trying to ask thousands of questions with this one sentence so that the learners can process it and listen to it. So the first question would be, does Simba live in the Pride Lands? Yes or no? Yes, he lives in the Pride Lands. Does Simba live in Rapid City? No, Simba does not live in Rapid City. Does Simba live in the Pride Lands or in Rapid City? And I'm saying this language over and over. And the first time what I'm doing is what they have you do in TPRS is you talk about the nouns. So I could ask, does Scar live in the Pride Lands? No, Scar does not live in the Pride Lands. And then you're getting all of these questions about this one sentence so that the learners are hearing it at least hundreds of times. So Simba igmut khanka oblaye LT hai. Huh? Naish hiya. Huh? Simba igmut khanka oblaye LT. And that's an example of one of those questions. But and then after that, if they're not getting the verb, the kids aren't getting the students aren't getting the verb, and then we add a character. So in this story, they made me Timon, like Timon and Pumbaa. I'm Timon, and so I said, "Who am I?" And they said, "Timon, you're Timon." So I'm Timon in this story, and that's why my background is Timon. And then the next thing is, so where do I live? And I asked the class, "Where do I live?" And then they throw out examples. And then in this story, they said, I live in Chesapa. So I live in the Black Hills. But I think Nicole was planning on bringing in the TPRS guys to do a training. It combines TPR, which is total physical response, which is like commands, you know, Iotaka, Mani, Ikjea Mani, like those commands. And then it combines that with Dr. Krashen's comprehensible input, just basically understanding what we're listening, what we're hearing at all times. And so it combines those two techniques and you just create a story about it. It was founded by a guy named Blaine Ray, who was a Spanish teacher back in the 1990s. And so, but anyway, the main thing that the learners on here have said, and a lot of them are my relatives, so they could just be trying to be nice to me, but is that they really enjoy it, is that it's fun, and that we just kind of play around. And so this is what I've been experimenting on because Malakota cha. So I don't really trust anything anyone tells me without trying it out. So I wanted to try it out, even though I took this workshop, and see what it was like on Zoom, because I assumed that we would be online. We're not online yet, but we have a school board meeting on Tuesday. But and I wanted to try it out on Zoom and see if it was possible. And so this was our first story, and it was geared towards my daughter and her favorite story, her favorite Sundance story, favorite Sundance song. And we went through this story teaching them the song, Henley Donuts Tehila. And so I put this PowerPoint together. This is the language that I was trying to use, some high frequency words. And then Le Henley Henley we chinchala. And then we would go through the conjugations and stuff. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been, I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. I'm really, really excited about the potential of it, the possibilities of it, just because I've been teaching for 3 years. I taught in the Immersion Nest. I teach here in McLaughlin now. I've taught at Sitting Bull College, Lakota, and I consider myself a beginner. I just like, I took Lakota that spring, and then we were short on teachers, and I was teaching it that fall. So, and I'm just a beginner. But what's exciting about this method is that I've never had students that have been able to speak this much and be able to conjugate verbs like this. And I think what they're saying is that they're really interested in it, and that's 95% of the battle, I think. So this is what we're doing. If you ever have any more questions about it, I didn't explain it very well. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm just kind of all over the place right now with meetings and things changing at the drop of a hat and stuff like that. And but everyone is welcome to join us at 8 Central Time, Sunday through Thursday. We've been doing that class. Even if you don't ever have to feel like some of the rules we have, you don't ever have to turn on your camera. If your camera's off and you're unmuted, I won't call on you. If your camera's on, I'll call on you. So I just want to encourage everyone just to at least take a look. And I'm excited because I want to hear what everyone else is doing, so I can improve. I can improve as a teacher. There's a lot that I need to learn, and my language is very beginner, and I need to learn a lot more to become more proficient as a teacher. But that's all I had for now. If you want, you could add me as a friend on Facebook or request me as a messenger, and I'll send you the Zoom link, or maybe I can drop it in this chat box, or you can email me. I'll put all that stuff in the chat.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, so ever since Ray started doing all this stuff, like not this stuff, but all this this educational format of visual learning, you know, it really comes into play for our visual learners. I'll give you an example. We just been doing virtual learning training here at the school, and you have to like be there with the person to show them exactly what you mean. Like the older generation, no disrespect anything to them, but you know, you physically have to step by step by step by step. So they like just because if like our facilitator, she was talking about, this is what you do, you open this Google Classroom and you got to do this, and you got to do this, and I physically had to go to every one of these classrooms and reteach what she just told them to do. This is a kind of a great start to do more of a visual learning experience with the language, because you can see it, you can see real pictures, you can see animated pictures, and it's part of that engaged learning component too. So I really appreciate what you bring to the table, Ray, and you really stepped up. You know, I'm proud of you and what you're doing for the community, as well as the Lakota language learners themselves. I was hoping Dusty would elaborate more on what she was talking about with her Waiawa Chikala on YouTube, and I think she exited the conversation. But anyway, what she was talking about, when you go into YouTube, I use it as a resource for my students as well. It just gives you lots of good videos, lots of good dialogue, lots of good conversation, and they just see real pictures, real concrete pictures, instead of using a book, a textbook. But we're all different learners, and that's okay. Like for me, when I learn Lakota, I have to see it. Like I can't sit there and just have someone talk to me, because it's not gonna comprehend until I have it written down in concrete. So, oh, can you mute your mic, Kinsley?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So with that, there's kind of like a foundation already built for us, and again with a lot of us teachers are going into Bitmoji classrooms. So what a Bitmoji classroom is basically your avatar, your cartoon of yourself. It's just like more of an animated version of you in your classroom, and there's links and that you can post. It's very engaged, sort of, if you make it, or you could just make it's just how much you know and how much you know in that aspect. And Janelle was expressing that, she's a slow learner at this technology stuff, and it's going to come, and, a lot of us aren't going to get it right away, and that's fine, but, and so I've been starting out slow. So we've been teaching the LLC orthography here at this school. And so I started Google Classroom about 2 years ago, and I created my Google Classroom. I'm going to share my screen with you guys here in a minute, just 1 second. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh, I don't even know where the share screen is at. Hold on, just 1 second, you guys. Okay, desktop. Okay, share. Can you guys see my screen now? Can someone say yes or no? Here. Thumbs up if you see my screen.
Here, dear Lani, cannot see it.
Hold on, just
Yeah, Wambalaka Wakishni.
hold on.
Michelle Blakish.
All right, there we go. Can you see now?
Huh, Wana Wablake.
Okay.
Misha.
Right. Okay, so this is where I am in the process of creating my Bitmoji classroom. This is just another tool that we could use. You could even use it in the home too as well, for your families. You can create your own living room, whatever you could, and you can add links and videos to your classroom. So as you can see, I created a video. We go over the alphabet every morning. We come in here, and so we went virtual learning. I'm gonna start back from the beginning. When we first went virtual learning, we had a blizzard for February, and we only got to come to school about 6 days out of that whole month. So right away, I created a Google Classroom, and I started videotaping and doing audio samples on my my iPhone or my mobile device. And then I created videos, and I just attached them to my classroom and or to my Google Drive. And so I'll show you what I've done so far. My classroom is not complete yet, but here it is.
Yeah, and where does all that come from? Is it just a document in Google Drive?
I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Bispiza, Peji, Pahi, Si, Shunka, Dopa, Tipi, Tungashila, Yuda, Unchi, Wichinchila, Yamani, Zita, and Zo.
Okay, so I created that, and I just added it right to my Bitmoji classroom. And Miriam was asking, how did I create this? So what I did was I just basically, in this whole virtual aspect of all of this stuff, my best friend is YouTube. YouTube is my best friend for everything. And I'm a slow learner myself. And so I created this Google Classroom through the tutorial of YouTube. And I just trained myself and just kind of taught myself how to do this. And but I think I'm like in the future, I'm going to start doing tutorial videos on how to create a Google Classroom specifically for Lakota teachers, precisely, or just for or people that want to use it in their homes as well, because it has that little fun effect. You know, there I am as a cartoon, and you know, there's a lot of animation in there, so it's kind of fun a little bit. You know, also, let's see. So anyway, what I was going with that, I was, let me try to get out of here now. Hold on, wait, real fast. I'm gonna also show you my Google Classroom as well. Hold on. Leave. Okay. So I'm correlating everything with my Google Classroom, and because I've been using it so long, and I'm pretty familiar with it. If I can find it. Let's see. Hold on. And I just want to give you guys some visuals of what I've been doing. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfectly there yet, but I'm at a start, sort of. And so we've been doing in training mode. So these top 3 classes, don't worry about those. And so I teach 8th grade Lakota language, and three different classes in high school. So starting from Lakota 1, 2, and 3. And personally, I honestly don't see a difference in any of those classes. I want to just teach my students the same exact pace as every one of my classes. So we just go It's just a different hour, a different day, and we teach the same stuff at the same pace because I don't want to get ahead of nobody. And and if I have advanced learners in my class, I help teach the beginner level students, and they're kind of like teacher aides towards me. So I use them in that aspect. Anyway, this is my Google Classroom. I created it 2 years ago. I just kind of designed it my way and whatnot. So Google Classroom, this is kind of like a mini Facebook, but it's all educational for purposes and stuff. And so here's your stream wall. So whatever you're communicating with your students, or say if you're just doing it for your family and you want to teach your takojas or your son or your daughter, just have them get into Google Classroom and do one for the family. You can do this, and we can. And so here I have an audio sample of numbers, and Paulette, I was showing my colleague Paulette Hayek on how to do this. So I was kind of giving her visuals on how to record herself with her phone, and then I could upload it onto the Google Classroom so the students can hear your voices back. And so say if we're doing a lesson on numbers, and okay class, I want you to do an audio sample or create a video of you and your family counting from 1 to 20 or 100, and then they would send you back a video. We would have to do it. We would have to do it technology. We have to do step by step again, but it's a learning process, and it's going to be kind of slow at first, but we'll get there eventually because it's all brand new to us. But again, this is just my quick classroom I created. I just did a dummy real fast just to show everybody. Here's my classwork. I kind of wanted to keep it the same routine as a physical classroom. So when my students get into my classroom, right away, I make them come in and introduce themselves. They introduce where they're from, the communities they grew up in, who their parents are, and who they are as a person, and then where they go to school, and so on and so forth. And then after that, we do the Lakota word and sound wall to express those diacritic markings and to know why those markings are there for a reason and why they're there. And that's why it's a whole tug of war on what you should be using or not. But for me as a teacher, this is helping me, this Lakota Language Consortium curriculum. I'm not looking at the political part of it. I'm looking at the more educational component of it. And it's been helping me tremendously because I can know what those signals mean, diacritical markings, and so can my students. And there's a very good retention rate in that. So that's just what I've been doing so far, and I've been stuck there because I've kind of like I'm still trying to be a learner myself. I'm a second language learner, and I'm trying to apply myself more and more every day. There's I think that's where I got stuck, is where my Google Classroom was, and that's how far as I can go. And then I started getting inspirational from Ray, as well as Nicole, as well as Dusty and Thunder Valley LLC and the Montessori. All these different methods I've been gaining more
You froze. You're frozen.
and the audio CDs come with it, and they're used to that, and that's fine, that's great. And so what my approach is with that is I'm going to help Paulette record her CDs onto a thumb drive, and I'm going to help her upload her content onto her Google Classroom and help her hopefully get a bit multi-classroom for her. But that's going to be a process, and that's going to be okay, and I'm here to help, and that's why I'm reaching out to you guys to see what you guys are doing. I know it's already 2 o'clock, but there's 12 of us left. Let's kind of break up into some breakout breakout sessions and just kind of talk about what you guys are doing. And then I'll come and chime in on your guys' conversation and go from there. Does anybody have any questions yet so far? Hello? Nobody? Okay. Let's see, I'm trying. Let's see if
I just think it would be great if we could somehow all share the technology, like, I don't know, like share so that we all have that possibility to make those things.
Yes.
Like these little, that classroom you had where this guy was sitting at a desk and on a couch, was that all clip art that was pasted in there, or how was that made? You know, those kind of things.
Yeah, that's all from just Google or just YouTubing Bitmoji Classroom and going from there.
Bitmoji Classroom, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Does anybody who's familiar with Zoom right now? Anybody? Let's see. I bought the Pro thing so I can get into subcategories. Let me see how I can do this.
You want to set up breakout sessions, right?
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Should I
Different
go?
rooms.
Oh, sorry guys. I'm just so. Hold on.
I have a quick. I just have a quick question. Is everybody? Are we all doing kind of what works for our classroom, or is anybody? Are we all still following this? These books. Is everybody using this in your classrooms yet, or are you following this, or just using this as a resource and then going back to hands-on?
I think Janelle, your question to that question is everybody's pretty much doing what they know is best for their learners.
For their learners?
Yeah, the LLC is another resource for them to use, but it's not, oh, you got to use, no, it's however you're going to teach and whatever speaks to you, I believe. That's how I took it. And so I've been using that, but I haven't been using the workbooks page per page, like worksheets. No, I've just been taking bits and pieces from it and just doing my own, creating my own lesson plan. And so, like, again, with TPR method, total physical response, I can do like a whole, take my students to the gym and do a whole lesson on like shooting a basketball or running, you know, and as they're doing the verb, they're saying the Lakota word and creating more dialogue into that conversation. So that's one lesson itself. So I've just been kind of doing it on my own.
So yeah. Do any of you have to, at the beginning of the school year, do you have to have your students all go do that little computer test and then retest at the end of the school year? Because I have to do that, and they do out of book 3, no matter what, 2nd grade to 6th grade. They're here at this school. They're all in the same, what you call it? They're all at the same level of learning, 2nd through 6th grade here.
Okay.
I only did the tests for the kids that come in the middle of the school year, so I know where they're at. As far as the book, I use it once a week. Each day I've dedicated to a different kind of activity, and that was when we were physically in the classroom, and they got used to that, and I think really responded to it. Like we would have story day, and we would have an activity day, and we would have one day where we did the book, and then we would have a project day where we would develop something. So each day something different. Oh, and one audio day where they listened on their own to those CDs that were produced with
sorry, Marianne.
With Iris on it and Ben. What were you saying, Orlando?
So a good thing to think about with your set structure and your routine, how can you get that virtually? How can you put that in a virtual sense?
And that's what I'm stumped with.
That's what what are your, so within that questionnaire, you can answer those questions and create open comments, and this is what I need help in. And so with that questionnaire, we can kind of tailor our conversations to where we need to.
Like we do a lot of stuff where we go into the hallway. Like when I teach the action verbs, we jump and we lie down and we fly and we swim. You know what I mean? We do all of
Yeah.
that CPR, and now I'm stuck with teaching all of that on the screen, and I don't want it to be mind-boggling boring to the students.
Yeah, because I know somebody had said, well, when you get on, just read them a story, and wow, they're going to get bored with us just reading stories or reading to them. So, and down here, I have to have the testing done at the beginning of the school year, and then I have to have them retest in the spring again before school up. That's one of the requirements here.
Right. Okay. Any other? Okay. So my next question for everybody, I can't figure out how to do the breakout sessions. Sorry, I apologize for that. I'm Zoom illiterate right now. But my next question for everybody, what is, let's see, how confident are you going virtually with Lakota Language? Is it, for me, I'm kind of scared. I'm really scared, but at the same time, I'm optimistic, and I'm with the tools that Ray is using, with the tools that Thunder Valley are using. I kind of want to mirror off what they're doing because I think it's working. Just because I've been using it as a resource for my classroom physically the past 2 years. But I kind of want to elaborate more on how to do that for my students on my own teaching. But I just want to know how people are going, how are you feeling going forth with this virtual learning? Like,
I feel both excited and scared at the same time. My biggest challenge is that I'm going to have literally of each class, half of the classroom physically sitting there while the other ones are on the screen. And I have to divide or combine my teaching between the ones in the classroom and the ones on the screen. And I don't know yet how that's going to work. It'll be a completely brand new challenge.
Okay. Yeah. So I think this is where we're gonna go from here, because it's kind of getting late now and everybody's. I just wanted to have this conversation. I know a lot of people didn't get to talk yet, and we just got to introduce ourselves. We're just tipping the part of the iceberg here. If people could fill out those evaluations or those questionnaires and put in there, what do you do for your audience? What are you going to do for your audience for the virtual aspect, for your families, or for your kids, or for your students, or for your elders? Maybe you could record your elders if they wanted, if they allows you to do that, or maybe you could. There's so much other things you could do, but when you fill out those questionnaires, put that information in there. So then maybe next month we can do another conversation like this again. We can tailor our conversations, and I'll get us some breakup rooms so we can actually have small group conversations and target and exchange ideas. So what I want to gain from this also is I want people to I also want people to mentor each other. Say, hey, I'm here for you. I'm a resource for you. What can I do? And so, just like Ray did, he's inviting us to his class on Sunday through Thursday at 8 Central Time. So if you guys want to go into that and just kind of get the gist of it, of what he's doing, and maybe you can do something similar to your classrooms or to your families or your households. But this is just a tip of the iceberg, you guys. I just wanted to have these conversations and meet with you guys face to face virtually.
Orlando?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Jody Poncho.
Oh, hello.
Hi, thanks for letting me join or jump on, and I apologize for being late. I got the time difference wrong. But yeah, I work for our language department over in the Valley. I'm from the Owens Valley Paiute language program. And we've been offering virtual language classes probably for 4 months now, ever since March. But I am able, or I'm willing to, you know, allow, or anybody's able to join, so I could always send that information to you, just if you could share with your contacts as well. And then
Yeah,
also,
sure.
The instructor, their emails, their personal emails, in case they have any questions on the teaching styles. They do, currently they are using the TPRS story time or storytelling technique, and it's going really well. We have good participation through our classes. So yeah, just another resource, but I could send you any information.
If you could send me all that information, after this, I think I'm gonna create a group. Just I think I'm gonna name it something virtual Lakota or something, or virtual language. But I'm gonna invite you guys. If you're not on Facebook, I'll send you guys a link. I'll probably meet again in September. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, again, Jody Poncho and Brian Poncho, they're from the Bishop Paiute Reservation in California. And so that's another resource that we could use as a Lakota language instructor or Dakota, and just use their tool, their template of what they're doing, you know, and exchange that information. Vereen, do you have anything to add? Would you like to say anything on what you're doing, or concerns or anything?
Well, yeah, I have a real big concern. It's about myself.
Yeah.
But I guess there's other people in this pool of being, I'm really not connected with technology. I never did like technology. I mean, I'm going to be 70 years old here pretty soon. So, you know, the TAC-X was probably the most highest of the technology that I learned, and then a little bit of computers when the big monsters first came out. And then now there's so much overlaying each other that it is so confusing to me.
Yeah.
And I want to, I'm in a retirement state of mind, and so I'm really having a hard time with shuffling that with the new job that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of things that come up for me during the week, through the day, through the month. And to get all those in, I'm neglecting some of my curriculum development, because I have to go in and delve into a lot of different ways of the way that Lakota people I know. See, I go way back there. So I know how it was when I was growing up, learning how to speak English. But there they shook us up and pulled our hair and, you know, set us down real roughly. And that's how come I learned how to fight really good. Just joking. But anyway, so, but I am willing to learn, and I'm thinking, you know, that, well, the more I get involved in things like this, maybe that would be one of the branches for me.
And so, yeah, exactly. And so I really want to work with the fluent speakers and hopefully conduct recording sessions, and hopefully we could just, you know, tailor that to your families and just make a classroom for you and teach you step by step, for like do a little quick tutorial on what to do with the technology and how to use it in that aspect. Or if you have any other ideas on how you want to exceed in that format. But yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to just do the tip of the iceberg here. I wasn't sure where I was going to go with this, but I just wanted to see what people are doing. That's basically what I wanted to touch base on technology, and a lot of our, because I really am scared for our older generation now that we're going in this technical world, and I don't feel like we're going to go back, but we still have to, but because our kids are going to be in school regardless, no matter what. And I think we're as our boss said, there's not going to be no more snow days. The snow days are gone, and so that's why we have this technology now. And so we got to keep moving forward, and we're got to figure out how we can get technical to target, keep our language alive through the younger ones. And so
Yes.
And so I would like to have a conversation just with our fluent speakers on how we can target those issues, you know, and bring the language into a technical world, but still be respectful and have those protocols as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So Haji, and thank you for coming here and bringing your concerns, and like, yes, and you're not the only one in that boat. There's a lot of us in that boat.
Oh, I'm glad.
I'm still on it, you know. So thank you for sharing your ideas and coming to the conversation. Maybe any thoughts or anything?
Well, I just want to tell everybody who is in my same boat that about the technology and the teaching and that kind of thing. I would just say that, you know, we just need to hang in there, I guess, and just go with the flow of this learning thing. And after all, I always say that you know, so, you know, we can't be just doing this, letting it go, and then forgetting about those who may be wanting to reach out to us or something like that, and there's no way they can. Mm-hmm. And so I would just like to say that, you know, we just need to help each other, because that's the way a Lakota person has to be. And that's the way the Oyate thrived before the Washichu people came. So, you know, that's what we need to keep on doing. We did thrive.
Okay.
So, and that was with each other.
So,
Pilamayapi.
Oh, Pilamaya. Just one quick question too. Like, if we could teach you how to do the method that Ray has been doing with his method of TPR, like using pictures and just using voice, like just going through, would you be comfortable in that, teaching your client, your audience?
Could you repeat that again? I have a barking dog in here, and
so with what Ray Taken Alive showed us with his teaching tools, with the videos and just the one sentence and just changing the sentence. I think you kind of have to look at his videos and to see the tool that he's using. If we could teach you that in that format, you could help be an effective teacher in your world, I guess. Teach you those tools, how to do that. I think that's the dialogue.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And yeah, in my curriculum now, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. I have taken over a curriculum that was written before, which things were written once. And so I've been repeating some of those things in the curriculum about things to do and how to do it and that kind of thing. And so like for every single page, the Lakota is repeated consecutively, like about 4 or 5 times in one unit of about 4 lessons. So that's how I've been going along with this, because I know the importance of having to learn a second language and them not repeating it for me. And it was hard. So I go back to that time and place in my life, and I think I would be right there with these kids, with, you know, doing something a lot more physically, you know, and more things that they could engage in, that kind of thing. And so I do a lot of pictures, even though I don't know how to draw, you know, but I do just like show pictures in books. And then I find an artist that's in my my school, because I used to teach at Oglala Lakota College, and there we have a lot of fine artists. And my son is an artist, and so he I follow him, and he does things in a real meticulous way. And so that's the other thing, patience. You know, I know a lot of the way that I was taught, my teachers didn't have patience for me. And they probably thought I was at the lowest end of the rung. And so the philosophy of education, the old thought was that you teach to the highest. And then, you know, it's kind of like a, you know, defeatist attitude for the other ones who are in the middle and the low rung. So anyway, yeah, so that's where I'm at. And I just want to say that I pretty much what I'm doing with this curriculum, and I got my education and my master's degree in curriculum and development and education and all that kind of thing. I'm a methods of teaching in anything except math and science. I did teach math, but it was at a lower end because it was for elementary. So I was okay there. But anyway, and there I taught them a lot of Lakota, because that was what I knew best in that subject. And so there's a group of students out there that are about the age of maybe 35 to 45 that would know how to do problems in Lakota. So anyway, that's the kind of thing.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Sorry, but
okay.
I just have a little bit of time, my son.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
I just wanted to ask, I missed a little bit. And was there anything that you wanted me to share, Lanny?
Yeah, I wanted you, because we were going to go, and then you exited out. So I was just showing everybody the tools that you guys are using. So Ray kind of went over the tools that he used real fast, just his TPR method classes and all of that. And I kind of wanted to have you share what you were talking about, if I can make you a host on this. Is that possible, or?
Yeah, go ahead. I can share, I can just show a little bit of her circle time, and then I'll share some of the websites, but some of the stuff we can't share yet because we're it's copyrighted. So
okay. Did you get it? Hey.
yeah, I got it. I'm gonna share my screen. So just keep in mind that the age that we teach is recording. Can you guys see it? Okay, so Gracie does a I'm just gonna turn off the sound, but she does a slideshow. It's really a beautiful slideshow that goes with the Tatuye Dopa song, and we sing it with each other, but we've been doing it for a few weeks, so now the children are singing it, but their mics are off, and we recognize that the children lose interest really fast, and so it's important to always have a visual to go with what you're saying, especially at that age. And so we do the song. That's a little this is the circle time's about 30 minutes. I don't know if anyone talked about it yet. And then okay. And then another thing that we use, I'm not sure if we can share these openly, but I'm gonna show you some of the books that we use. And working from home is really tough when you have kids, so just be gentle with yourself. You know, we're working in a time where a lot, you know, in an area Lakota language revitalization, some things we haven't done for a long time, and now we're in a pandemic. So just be gentle with yourselves and do what you can. That's kind of what we go by. But these are the books that we will read with the children. And I could ask if I could get permission to share them, but I'm not sure yet. All the resources that we have online, we're sharing. We're going to share when we get we're going to upload them on our website. We're going to streamline them and get copyrights to everything. And then everything that we've done within Thunder Valley, Yapi Glukinipi will be available to teachers, and you'll get certain permissions to access certain things within the next year, we're hoping. But these are some of the books that we read to the children. And then I will fast forward it to the part. So don't judge me. I'm not the best singer, okay? Gracie and everybody has a beautiful voice, but at the end we do songs. So it's really important to talk to each other and then do song for young children. And even if they don't respond, we want them to know what the response is, and you know, keeping them engaged is what we're aiming for, and keeping them hearing the language for that amount of time is our goal. So even if we come into the Zoom call and we're like, Orlando, Dayawa Chianke, Dokeshkeya Uhe. And so even if it's just the adults having an exchange, the children are hearing that. And at first it was really rough, but we've been doing it for a while. And so Uchivreen can testify that the children are responding in Lakota now, and their parents are joining them. And they're it's better, but we're still working towards improving it. I'm going to bring up some slideshows that I do now.
Okay, all right.
And then, okay.
So basically, you guys are doing a lot of song, like a lot of audio stuff for the kids and stuff to keep them engaged, and that's great. I mean, I think that's the approach of Lakota Language is through song and storytelling, you know, and just using props as you go along.
And even the older kids, they want to learn those prayer songs. That was something I taught a youth class, youth leadership class, language hour, and that was one of the second most requested thing is that they wanted to learn prayer songs. And although, you know, sometimes we're so focused on language and learning sentence structure and vocabulary, some of our children are starving for the prayer and the Lakota way and things like that. And so it's always good to kind of just throw those in there. Here is my Google Slides. They're not great, but it's just what I've been doing. So I did Iktomi Jishtila on one slide, and you just animate it, you know, you just, you get the pictures, you search PNG images, and that way you can lay them on top of each other and there's no background. And then you can animate it to whatever you want to do. So that's to a song. And then I created this resource, this slideshow in Kim Campbell's methods class during DLSI this year. And she guided us through it. And so I did this is the first time I learned about Google Slides, and you can use them this way. So we created a lesson plan, learning objectives, and we got to it. And one helpful thing that helps me is creating a script.
Yeah.
And then you don't always have to present the Google slideshow. You can manipulate them and talk about them. So And then one cool thing that someone to get on the next meeting, if you have a next meeting, is Lorna, Her Many Horses on Facebook. She's Emmy, Her Many Horses. People know her as Emmy, but she has been working since the pandemic started through distance learning, and she services special needs children. And she does a lot of Google Slides. Wow. And so she was able to give us a lot of pointers about how to manipulate things. And you can even, when you're sharing your screen on Zoom, Zoom participants can manipulate the Zoom screen. And then if you're doing Google Meet, all you have to do is, if you have older children, you can share the presentation with them, and then you can assign them to a different slide. So Lani and Vereen, you'll be slide 2. Gracie and Emily, you're gonna be slide 3. And then, you give them an assignment and they manipulate it, and then when they're done, you can go back and check it.
Amazing.
So
you're blowing me out of the water, Nate.
So the notes that I had on this one, I don't know. Okay, waskuicho wan washteya laki hechi waglutapi eganaka ye. So waskuicho washteya laki shni hechi sni woganaka imahel oganaka. So we wanna sometimes as learners we think that it's the less is more, but I think when we're trying to revitalize a language, especially in immersion, we need to have complex sentences and differentiate between oganaka and eganaka, things like that. And I don't know, that's just like you don't want the bar too high, but you want it, like Vereen was saying, you want it high enough so that they're challenged, but they're understanding. So you want to lay the foundation. Maybe you begin with vocabulary, but then you slowly build, with ichu, and then eganaka, and then oganaka, so on and so forth. And another thing that she told us is when you build these slides, you want to create the background so it can't move. I should have created this fridge as the background. Yeah. And then it wouldn't have moved. But and then okay, I'll show you one more.
Okay.
I did so we are Montessori. And so it's hands-on, so it's really difficult to do the Montessori stuff, but I've been toying around with some ideas, and this is one of them. I don't know if this is helpful, but I'm just really proud of it. Numbers. Yeah. And then, so Wanji, there's a whole presentation that goes with this, and the way I'll be talking to them is, we all want chunky le dona he. Wanji nupa, ha, nupa hecha. And then just so on and so forth. And then dona he. Let's count it. Let's check if it's 3. Is it 3 or 4? Waji, nupa, yamini, ha, yamini. And so those are some things that I've created. We use the books. And then are you guys aware of the YouTube channel?
I am, yes. I don't know if
anyone know about okay. I don't know what age groups you work with. Oh, this is our website. wayawachikala.com. And so it has videos here. There's a link to the videos on YouTube. These are also videos. These are books. And these are, I think they're mostly all videos, but this will take you to some of the stuff that we have here, wayawachikala.com. And these are some of the videos that are on YouTube as well. Some of you had seen them. They're mostly just, some of them are educational and some of them are words. This one is wa, and it's different pictures of snow and things like that. I'll take you to YouTube. And so one thing that we wanted, I know Dawn talked about educating the parents as well, and that parent component is really important, and it probably has never been more difficult than now. But one thing that our parents request is script. So if you have somebody who can translate, they want to know how to wash hands. So we're going to send home a script, a turn on the water, get the soap, rub your hands together, rinse your hands. Something as simple as that they can hang in their bathrooms and speak to their children while they're doing it. Again, it depends on Depends on the age group, and this is all geared towards early childhood and elementary. So Wayawa Chikala is the channel on YouTube. We have the videos, and there has been a couple new ones recently, but then we also have the prayer songs here that are sung by some people from our community, young people and old people from our community. And the kids seem to like them. And one thing that I did, we also use Seesaw.
Yeah.
Seesaw is an app that you can communicate with your children through their devices and give them assignments. And so I assigned, there's a video on how to make a bird feeder with a bagel and peanut butter and birdseed. And it's all in Lakota. Bino Garcia is the person saying it. And so then I uploaded that video to Seesaw, and then I sent home bagels, peanut butter, string, and birdseed. And they watched the video, and then they made the bird feeders with their parents, and then their parents took pictures of them doing that and then uploaded it to Seesaw. So then the parents are getting involved, the kids are hearing the language, and they're doing something meaningful. So then they're remembering that video, they're remembering that vocabulary, but they also have the bird feeder to bring new experiences to them. And that was in the spring whenever the birds were all coming back. So that was really exciting. Another channel of Wayawa Chikala. Just let me know if I'm running out of time or whatever.
Oh, you're fine. You're doing fine.
If you go to Wayawa Chikala channel, there's featured channels on the right side here. Wayawa Tankinkia is in the early days when the daycare was in Oglala, and me and Gracie worked together, and we're trying to figure out, we were kind of like guinea pigs. They were trying to figure out how are we going to learn to speak Lakota while we're teaching. And so we would take an hour a day, and they found this method, adult immersion method, where we had a script, and they're kind of rough. The videos are rough, but Ray, take your life. Ray Taken Alive gave us a shout out on Facebook, and he started to remake these videos with him and his daughter, and just for his own personal learning. And we do have the scripts to all of these videos. I believe there's like 26 videos. It's welcoming a visitor, praying, eating cereal, serving a guest, brushing your teeth, different things that go through every little step. And then you just say it in first person and second person, and then you talk about what somebody else is doing in third person. And so that could be used for the older kids, or a parent component, or your own personal learning. Yeah, I don't, that's pretty much all we have right now. There's
a big foundation for, I mean, it's a start, and that's my vision of where I want to be, but it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of side time, and a lot of technological knowing of what to do, with Google or with Google Slides and all that. So, and a lot of our older generations they're going to need help with that kind of stuff, and so. Yeah,
and I think that this is a really great start. Just starting the conversation and finding out what people's needs are. And I would be willing to help any fluent speaker or any person who needs help navigating how to make a Google slideshow.
Yeah.
And maybe we can just pick a subject and have a quick 30-minute session where we just go through it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and so I'm just available to help, and I want to see what everybody's doing, because I would like to see all of the people who are in the movement be aware of what's going on in other programs and share and collaborate. And that's really how I really believe, like, I'm just excited, that's when the movement is going to gain more traction, and we're going to make a lot of headway and have impact, is when we work together.
exactly. And those are the foundations I wanted to talk about, and I think that's a perfect example of why we created a space, and um, and just to help one another, because we're in that Western culture of like, oh, we're in this job, we're getting paid for this, and this is what we're doing. We're all in this together to make it survive, and sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I want to, and sometimes I feel discouraged, but then I remind myself what I'm doing this for and who I'm doing this for, and I get that motivation when I see your guys' content, and I'm pretty sure everybody else does too. And last year when we went to the Lakota Language Bowl out in Rapid, and I was just like, I was so amazed because like I think there were kids from your guys' program, I believe, the immersion, the little kids, I guess, and they were playing with cars and they were just talking Lakota. I was like, holy cow, man. And so, I mean, that's tremendous work, and a lot of hard work went into that, and a lot of passion and just love for the language and love for their people, and I think that's what we're all here for, and I could feel that in all of the group here. And I just want to thank you, Dusty, for sharing all of that amazing information. And so, yeah, I think to go from here that we could just do little workshops on how maybe to do Google Slides on one day, or maybe do a Bitmoji classroom, maybe simple as like recording audios, making them do a script or something, and making something, just doing something.
One thing that I think would be really cool is if we can get access to the fluent speakers that each program works with, and do audio recordings of them telling maybe Iktomi stories, creation stories, or the stories from Lakota Tales and Texts.
Yeah.
And it's really important for the children to hear fluent speakers.
Yeah, it is. It is. It sure is. Well, thank you, Dusty, for sharing your stuff. I'm blown away, actually, and I love it. And it just makes me more passionate for what I'm doing and for what you guys are doing. I'm here to help you guys, and we're all here for each other. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody else want to share what they're doing? What else they're doing? Any questions for Dusty?
I'm on Facebook. My email is dusty@thundervalley.org. Feel free to reach out if you would like any of that stuff. Maybe we can all put our emails in here, and then you can email us, Orlando, and that way we have our contact information. I gotta go. Sorry.
All right, Doksha, okay. Okay, any other questions before we get going here? Did anybody get any motivation from that? Say yes, here.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yes, and that's the vision where I want to go, not just for educational schools, but also for families. And now that we have a lot of downtime, a lot of family time while we're under quarantine, we could be working on those things. It just takes step by step, and I think that's what we are here for each other. And I could bring those little workshops for you guys on how to create a Google Slides for you guys, or just the tools that we need. And but yeah, I would suggest maybe like a tip is maybe start recording yourself, speaking, doing certain phrases like opening the door, or Doksha, or there's I've seen filming Lakota, she did a whole conversational piece about wearing a mask. He or she's wearing a mask. They're not wearing a mask. So she did a whole little piece on wearing masks. And so I think maybe that could be put into an audio sample or video sample, and having props. But just things like that, that creates a foundation for the work that's going to go into language revitalization. So this is just a start again, and I thank you guys for tuning in. And does anybody else want to share anything? We have Gracie, Marianne, Emily, Dawn, Janelle, Avery, Vereen, and Brian. You guys want to share anything before we end our?
I'm going to have to leave you in a little bit. I was supposed to leave 49 minutes ago, but this is too good
I
to
know
leave.
my boss is calling me too, but it's like, you
I
hold
know,
up.
I gotta next time.
Yeah.
But this is all awesome. Thank you so much. This is really great.
You're welcome, and I thank you guys for being here. Even if it was just one person that showed up, that's amazing. But I'm gonna continue doing these Zoom conferences, and I'm gonna teach myself a little bit more about Zoom and stuff. And I think I want to create a Google Classroom just for us, so we can just just see the virtual reality of a Google Classroom. And I'll probably add you guys, if you guys can, within those questionnaires, and there's another thing for, if you can leave your email address in the comments, that'll be awesome. Or if you could leave your email address in the chat box, that would be awesome, and I could just add you guys to the Google Classroom, and then that could be our starting point and just dialogue conversation and be there for one another. And so if you have a question about how to do some video samples, how to do audio samples, how to create Google Slides, if you didn't get it within when we did our workshop. But I think that's what we're gonna do in our next segment, probably next month, is probably learn how to do a Google slide and record ourselves. So in the meantime, if you guys can record yourselves doing simple phrases or something, you could be audio or video, however you want to do it. Doesn't have to be very long, just simple and short, and then we'll go from there. And
record ourselves and then do what with it? Do we email it to you or just save it
you can
on our
email it to
phone?
me. Just save it on your phone, and then once you put the email address in this chat box right here, I'll create a dialogue so where I can communicate with you on email, and you can send me the audio samples, and then I could just create something just visually for you guys, and then we can start from there, and we can have Dusty help us out in that aspect. So any exit questions for you guys? You guys have any comments before we go? Good. Janelle, Dawn, Gracie, Emily.
I only have one question, and my question is just having to do with my computer. I turned it into our IT guy, but when we're doing Zoom, you're talking and then the whole audio cuts out. I can't hear you. So I have to go to test speakers, and then I hit on to test speakers and it dings and I answer 3 quick questions, yes, 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 and your voice comes back on. And I turned it into the IT guy, and he said, oh, that's just because it's Zoom.
Oh.
But when I get on my personal laptop, I don't have any problem with my personal laptop.
Maybe try to get some headphones. Maybe that might help.
Okay.
With a little mic on that. Also, too, it might be your internet connection, too, sometimes, because mine kind of went out and I lost part of the segment in there. So.
Yeah.
But, yep. We'll get through it.
Okay.
That's all I had for today, you guys. And I just want to thank everybody for coming in and expressing and then just introducing themselves and what they do for their communities as a Lakota language warrior in a movement. I commend you guys, and I just feel good about this, and I want to keep on communicating and networking with you guys. We'll have a strong network, and hopefully we can start building foundations for our teaching methods or for our audiences. But with that, I just want to say Doksha Ake to everybody, and thank you, Pilamaya, for coming on. Yeah, just start recording yourself. Just takes that little minute to record yourself, and then just play it over and over and repeat, and then show your grandkids or your students or whatever. So with that, I'll send out another flyer probably next month. It won't be so last minute notice. It'll probably be a week before. But I'll let you guys know, and then if you can just leave your email addresses and try to turn those questionnaires in, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, where's the questionnaires at? Manny, where do Orlando?
I'm gonna repost it on the chat.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll repost it on the chat here in 1 second.
Okay.
Any questions before you guys go? Are you guys good? You guys can go ahead and leave if you want to. But I'll leave it on here. And if you know anybody that wants to see it again, I already recorded the video, so I'll post it. I'll have a post it on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. I'll link you guys into that. There we go. Okay, I added that questionnaire. So if you guys can answer that questionnaire and leave your email addresses in the chat box, I will write those down and then we'll go from there. So with that, Doksha, okay.
Doksha. Doksha, thank you.
You guys be safe out there and stay home. Okay, especially during the rally, we don't want none of that. Stay away from the tatankas too. All right, we'll see you guys. Doksha, okay.
All right, Doksha.